Hey everyone, it's the West Clinic live with Dr. J at 5 o'clock. I'm so excited to share with you some vitamin H, which is not a real vitamin, it stands for vitamin hope. I just wanted to share with some patient success stories because you're not your diagnosis. There's a person in there. And when you get everything balanced, you get amazing outcomes just like this. So we just have some really amazing outcomes of balancing people's physiology with vitamins, with oxidative medicine, with neural therapy. And here's what happens. Here's the results. Check it out. Hey guys, this is Dr. J with our blog Daily Dose Vitamin H, and we are doing a reevaluation on Anna today. And we just had a really neat experience, and so I said, would you go on the blog? And she said, of course. So we've done some work. She did a lot of stuff herself. One of the reasons why she's doing so well is because she owns her health. She took responsibility. She did some energy work. She did some dietary work. And then we did some work, and the combination of all that has been fantastic. But it's been an amazing experience to participate with someone just really sick, and then totally different person, different outlook, happier, the work. So Anna, tell them what happened.
Okay. So before I came, I was just really sick all the time. I just felt like I wasn't digesting. I was sleeping all the time and really drowsy, and I just had severe pain. And I just, throughout the day, I just didn't feel like I was really myself. And I'm like, this isn't living. And so when I came, I realized that I just had really bad digestive problems and just everything was out of whack. And so I completely changed my diet, and I went off all processed grains and sugar. And for the first couple weeks, I was just living on soup. But as I realized that my diet can help me, I significantly changed. And coupled with the treatments and eating right and being able to have healthy foods, I started seeing a very significant change. I was getting more energy, and then I started to do energy work, and I got counseling to work with my emotions too, and I just started feeling happier. And once again, I felt like myself again, and the treatments really helped, and everything I did, like, I know that it really works. But
It was just it was amazing. Really nice change, and again, a combination of everything she did was fantastic. And is it okay to put it on our patient blog, put it on Facebook?
Yeah, it is.
All right, awesome.
Thank you.
Dr. J with our Daily Dose Vitamin H. We'll put these out at least a couple times a week. See you later.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Dr. J with the Daily Dose Vitamin H, and this is Whit. Whit's just had an amazing outcome at the office. He's 100% better, and so today is kind of our exit interview because we've done what we're supposed to. And so he's going to go off to the booming megatropolis of the Uinta Basin. And anyway, we're going to check on him as needed. But as we were visiting with him today, I said, hey, would you go on our blog and tell us, what's happening? It's really nice to give other people a dose of vitamin H. And so, Whit, tell us what you felt like when you came in.
Not real well. Went from laying on the ground, wishing for death, to with the help of these guys, walking out of here 100%. So definitely recommend it to anyone that's looking for relief, and with Lyme's disease is what I had, and feel 100% better today.
Yeah.
Can't thank them enough.
100% better. Really, really cool outcomes. So anyway, what we did for Whit, we did neural therapy, which we reprogrammed the nervous system. We did some vitamin infusion therapy. We got a specific supplement program together. It's just been an awesome story where someone was like, man, life's not worth living, to 100%. And it's been about 10 treatments? Mm-hmm. 10 treatments. So we're going to cut him loose for a little bit, have him follow up in a couple months. Just an outstanding case. And we'll see you next time on Dr. J's Daily Dose Vitamin H. Ready? Hey, this is Dr. J, and welcome to the Daily Dose of Vitamin H. This is the day before Halloween. Halloween's a really big deal at our office, and so the girls convinced me to dress up as Top Gun. I'm Goose today, and Anna, my assistant, is Maverick, and so we're having a lot of fun with that. But I'm really excited to have one of my favorite patients on our blog today. This is Mr. Murdoch, Mud Murdoch, and I asked him if he'd come in and tell us the story, give some people a little bit of a pick-me-up. And so, Mud, tell me your story. What's really cool is it's been 2 years. He wasn't supposed to live this long, but it's been 2 years. So what did you first come in with?
Well, at stage 4 liver disease, they gave me less than 2 years to live. I came and saw Dr. J right at about 2 years, so I was at the end of their rope as far as that's concerned. Now it's been 2 years and I'm still here. And thanks to Dr. J and the good gals up here at the West Clinic.
So, Mud, from the time we first started to now, I mean, you weren't feeling very good. I know you're not perfect, but how do you feel now?
You know, 2 years ago when I came here, I had no idea that I could feel as good as I do now. I had one foot in the grave and no hope whatsoever. Now it's like thumbs up. I'm riding with Top Gun.
Awesome. So some of the treatments that we did for Mud was, the vitamin infusion therapies, putting him on a appropriate nutritional therapy program, doing some energy medicine, doing ALA therapy, the alpha lipoic acid therapy. All of our team worked on them, our medical doctor, our nurse practitioner, our chiropractor, our mind-body healer, myself, etc. And we've all committed to patients that we don't care who gets the credit as long as you get better. And so, Mud, if someone's looking at this video, would you recommend coming to the clinic?
Most definitely. If you have any questions at all with your medical doctors, come here. You won't regret it.
Awesome. And is it okay if I put this on Facebook or social media?
You betcha.
Okay. All right, you guys, this is Dr. J signing out. Special thanks to Mud. Have a happy Halloween weekend, and we'll talk to you later.
From the beginning, the first symptoms I noticed was a racing heart, shortness of breath, and from there it went to left side numbness and slowness of my hand. I'm a piano teacher, and I noticed that I was really slowing down in my playing, and also I was having trouble with seeing too. I had black dots kind of floating around and that kind of stuff going on. That was pretty much it. I mean, it was getting worse. Those symptoms stayed the same, but it was getting worse.
And have you, what did your doctor tell you? You went to the doctor. What did they tell you?
My family physician, I went to him and he put on a Holter monitor, and they noticed that with any excitement, my heart would start racing. And so then he brought me back in to review those tests with me. And he noticed that I was starting to have left side weakness, and he got me in for an MRI right away. He called me back 3 days later and said they found a cyst in your head, 2 inches by 2 inches about, in your posterior fossa.
And what was the treatment?
From then he referred me to my neurologist. And so I went through all the tests, and of course he found out the same things. You know, I was slow, and the left side, and things were just getting worse. So he decided, well, let's try and shrink this cyst, because it's pushing on part of the brain that controls movement and all those things. So it was, pretty, I think it was the right step to take at that point. And so for about 4 months, we went through medication that were targeted at draining or shrinking the cyst. Symptoms did not go away. And so probably about a month ago, I went under a CAT scan. They injected dye into my spine, turned me upside down, and found out that the cysts weren't blocked. Before that, that threat of brain surgery was always looming, because this was exactly the problem. This was what's going on, this big huge cyst in my head. But after the test, we found out that it was fine. It was the cerebral fluid was moving through it just fine. So from there, he gave me some medication to help control the eyes, the spotting that I was seeing, and that has worked. The black dots have gone away. But all these other symptoms on my left hand side were not going away. The burning in the neck, the slowness, and all of that. So I had an appointment coming up in a couple weeks, and I actually started vitamins and everything all on my own, because I thought, man, there's something wrong. I just knew there was something wrong, and I thought, well, maybe vitamins are the way to go. And so I started taking vitamins and all that, and I mean, my energy level was up, but the symptoms were not going away. So I was talking with a friend, and she said, well, I heard about this Dr. West in Pocatello, and she had never been to him, but I thought, man, I need to try him before I go back to my neurologist in a couple weeks. So here I was last Monday, and was telling Dr. West all of my symptoms, and all this. I went in thinking I went in skeptical, and I thought, I'm not going to say anything about the cyst. I'm going to see if this guy can figure me out, And so I went in, told him all my symptoms, and I went in with my husband, and he said, well, it's getting caught in the neck. And we were like, the neck? Aaron and I both looked at each other like, are you kidding me? Nobody has ever thought of the neck. So he took me immediately back into the back room, x-rayed my neck, and he goes, I think we found your problem. And I just started crying. I was like, a year, and you just found my problem in the course of an hour, And he showed me, and sure enough, 10 years I had an accident, which I didn't think was relevant at all. And my spine was compacted, or whatever he has found, and he's made some adjustment. He put my arm in an electric bath of some sort and did something to my back, and I noticed an immediate change. And it's been it's been a week, and my symptoms slowly came back, but then he said, it's going to take 5 or 6 times for it to work, but the immediate relief just kind of said, yeah, this is the problem. I mean, it's got to be.
And so he adjusted you, and what changed?
The numbness on my left hand and my leg. I played in church. I haven't played in church for 5-6 months. I stopped, and I'm a piano teacher, and that's what I love to do, and so I'm back doing what I love to do, and I really think this is the answer.
Are you off the medicine for the black dots in your eyes?
No, I'm going to see my neurologist on the 15th, so I'm going to ask, I guess it seems to be helping, so I'm going to stay on it, or maybe I should be, talking to Dr. West about that.
Okay, so you have great hope today now, right? I mean, a lot's changed.
I'm very encouraged, very encouraged.
And the skepticism.
I was very skeptical.
Right, they're chiropractic.
Very skeptical. What can vitamins and a little tweaking do? These symptoms were real, and in my head, I was going downhill fast. I mean, I didn't know what I had, but I knew something was happening. And for him to tweak and just relieve that was amazing.
Perfect.
Everyone, this is Dr. West and Christy in the West Clinic system. Let me back up, just keep going. Let me just start over. Hey everyone, this is Dr. West and a daily dose of vitamin H, and I just want to introduce people to what happens when chronic pain meets the West Clinic. So in our Salt Lake office today, I'm excited to tell everybody about Christy, because Christy came in the office hurting a ton, and then she was telling me, getting me updated from what's happened in the last week, and she said something really cool, which was, what happened last week?
Last week, after my treatment, I noticed the pain in my middle back had decreased immensely, and I was able to sit longer without having to adjust in my movements, and it just has been the best week I've felt in a long time.
And so, Christy, a couple things. One is something miraculous happened last week. It was your first what?
Chiropractic treatment.
So one of the things that we do at the office that's so neat is we combine the best in traditional medicine, integrative medicine, alternative medicine, put it together. So we gave Christy an adjustment. Our medical team's given her some infusion treatments. There was some regenerative injection therapy done, and this is what happens. People get their lives back, they get better, and now we just got to work on the different areas, because something interesting happened. The back was better, and
I noticed I noticed more pain in my neck, but I think it was because I wasn't focused. I didn't have the pain in my back.
So the neck pain's always been there. She just didn't notice because the back pain was so much worse. So a combination of chiropractic therapy, injection therapy, infusion therapy, getting everything back in balance, and these are the outcomes that you get. So this is Dr. West and Christy. We'll see you guys on the next miracle video. Hello everyone, this is Dr. West and Marjorie at the West Clinic, and we were doing Marjorie's reevaluation today. We started working with her a couple months ago, and it's a pretty exciting outcome, and I said, can we tell your story to other people to give them a little bit of hope and a little bit of excitement, because Marjorie, when you first came in, what was happening?
Well, I was totally fatigued all the time. I couldn't move my arm real well because I have a torn rotator cuff.
And then there was some concerns about old viral thing. We were worried maybe some post-polio.
Yeah.
And then we also had some concerns about this little gland thing up here, here called the thyroid gland, which is so common for people to have, dysfunction. And so we did a series of treatments, and Marjorie, you told me what?
I'm feeling better. I'm doing great.
And show them what you can do with your arm. This was amazing.
You'd ask that.
Right. And before I was like, couldn't even move her arm. The energy's better. And so we did a series of vitamin infusion treatments, some regenerative injection therapy. And now what's really exciting is we're just going to keep her that way. So it's not something we have to keep going in the office. We're going to streamline everything and make it so that she doesn't need the office anymore.
Right.
So we're really excited about that. Marjorie, it's okay if I can post this and tell people a little bit about what we did?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Dr. West and Marjorie at the West Clinic. Hashimoto's, post-polio syndrome, rotator cuff, fatigue, all gone over a couple months. We'll see you guys on the next video. Hey everyone, it's Dr. West and Louie at the West Clinic. We're kind of wrapping up Louie's treatment program, and it was just a really good time to say, hey, I would like you to share your story of outcomes and hope with other people. And so, Louie, where do you come from?
Santa Ana, California.
Santa Ana, California. You travel all the way to the booming megatropolis of Pocatello.
Yeah.
Okay. And what initially brought you in here? Like, what healthcare concern was the trigger to come to the office?
And mold.
Okay, so we had some junk with system, and mold's one of those nasty little critters because it really looks a lot like liver tissue, and so a lot of the traditional mold treatments is kind of a race to get rid of mold or to kill your liver. And so you're looking for ways to try and help your physiology. And so the initial workup, we took a look at your blood, and what did we discover?
That I had mold.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch in there. So yeah, not a trick question at all. He said, hey, I think I have mold. And we did the assessment, and we said, you know what, a patient's intuition is right. You got mold. And so now we've done a series of treatments, and how do you feel?
A lot better.
Yeah, so, and the thing, when you say a lot better, like specifically, like what areas seem to be improved?
My energy is up.
You're right. So which is the biggest problem with, when patients don't feel good, like that's not a medical diagnosis, but it's the truth. People run out of energy and then they don't feel good. So when we go to treat people, that's one of the first things we're looking for. Your energy's improved. What else?
My weight went down, even though I didn't want it to.
Right.
But it's not in a bad place.
Right. So it's a healthy weight, healthy, a target body weight. Any other things that were improved? So my perception or my interaction with Louie, like one is a mental outlook. By that, he wasn't, depressed or unhappy when he came in, but he wasn't the same as who we're talking to him now. Like there's a mental clarity that it's our observation that's really significantly improved. And you guys may see behind the camera, but she's shaking her head. But did you perceive that? Like some mental clear out?
And just coming here, the love that your staff has for the patients and the staff have for each other, and the help that your staff does for each other is just fun to come.
So that was a commitment that we made. Like we can't help a patient have a good experience if it's not a good place to work. And so that we just really want to focus in on, my team's great, but that's by design too.
Yeah.
Okay, So the treatments that we did for you, we did some IV vitamin C, we did some chelation treatments that we want to pull out, you know, schmutz and bad guys and stuff like that. Any other treatments that you would want people to be aware of?
I had I'm trying to think of the word, where the magnets are used.
Yes.
Prostate problem.
Right, so we have a PMF therapy, a pulse electromagnetic frequency treatment. It's like a little donut that you can sit on, and prostate, you know, concerns for males. If you live long enough, you're gonna die with prostate problems or from prostate problems, and so that treatment really helps that organ to be. It's basically like a prostate massage, but it's not invasive. Okay, so Louis, we got ready to you know, do your exit interview, and we were doing some things. We have a follow-up coming up in September, and you came out and you kind of tapped me and said, hey, thanks for what you're doing and for your team and for your staff, and I'm so grateful for our paths crossed, because I'm different, and I know you're different too, and it was nice to take care of you and your wife. Any suggestions or recommendations for people that have mold concerns, like any suggestions for them through learning through your healthcare journey on mold? Any suggestions or recommendations to people watching this?
Come, you'll enjoy it. It's fun to come here. The patients interact like they were family. It's just, I've never seen anything like it.
Well, thanks, Louis. We love you and your wife. We're so excited you're part of the West Clinic family. It's okay if I share this with people on social media?
Absolutely.
All right, so Dr. West and Louis checking out on the daily dose vitamin H at the West Clinic. Mold toxicity, there are options. It'll help your energy. It'll help you get to your healthy body weight. It'll help mental clarity. It's worth it to come all the way from Santa Ana, California. We'll see you guys on the next video. Hey everyone, it's Dr. West and Jenny. We're just really excited to share a video about hope and about how you can get your life back. So, Jenny, you come from a galaxy far, far away.
Louisiana, the South.
So you come from Louisiana to Idaho. So my first comment, a lot of people in the videos, they'll look and say, oh my gosh, I don't want to travel that far. But the travel, was it worth it?
It was totally worth it. It's a sacrifice, I'm not going to lie, and you have to make a conscious commitment, but it was worth it, and I'm so glad that we made that decision.
Yeah, so a really cool story. Your healthcare concerns go back, not last year, they actually go back a long ways away. So what happened initially with your health?
15 years ago, I was bit by a tick in Virginia, and was pregnant at the time, and so a lot of my symptoms were written off to being hormones or pregnancy or my age. I wasn't diagnosed until about 10 years ago with Lyme. Did 2 years of antibiotics, which did nothing, and then was really left with no way forward. Dealt with symptoms for the next 10 years, and finally, through talking with people and through recommendations of my doctors and friends, found you, thank goodness, and made the commitment to try this in September. And it wasn't always easy. There was some months that were very, very dark and very difficult, but on the other side of that is so much better, and I feel better, and I'm getting my life back, and I'm just so grateful.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great story of someone that's beating their disease because you took control and you decided, hey, I'm gonna follow through with this. We did some lifestyle changes. We did some prayer, meditation, thought like you lined up, which I'm really proud of you for doing. And then we decided, hey, we're gonna go through this, and it was a roller coaster. So we started September, we went through a rough spot, February, March, and then we looked at your blood and did a reevaluation today. And what did we see?
It looks healthy.
Yeah,
it looks like the goal from September.
And the thing with Lyme disease is that you have to treat the person, not the disease. And so that's one of the things that it's a little bit different for everyone, because the most important vitamin is the one that patients need, and the most important treatment is the one that people need. And so that's kind of that art of, a lot of people can give IV treatments, a lot of people can do neural therapy and stuff like that, but when you put it together and you work on the person, then what happens is that you can beat the disease. So,
I'm so thankful.
Yeah, it's awesome. So the treatments that we did for you, Jenny, were what?
IV, all the IV treatments.
So IV vitamin C, major autohemotherapy, dilute hydrogen peroxide, like we have a little protocol we put together. So that's one thing. What else?
Acupuncture.
So acupuncture, and tell everybody what happened yesterday, because this is a really fun.
It's crazy. It's really exciting. So I've had really bad knee pain and elbow pain, and nothing seems to affect it. And I asked for acupuncture yesterday and said I was having some digestive problems and some pains in my joints. And literally, as he's putting needles in, he says, now test your elbow. And I said, still there. He put another needle in, and he said, try it, and it's gone. And he did that for every joint. And this morning I woke up and I don't have any stiffness or pain. And it's like a miracle. I mean, I'm so happy and excited to not have the pain this morning.
So now our goal is to make it so that Jenny can travel back to the Deep South and make it so that she needs the office, basically as least as possible, which means we're going to put in a targeted nutritional plan. We're going to make sure that we balance out the hormones, and then we're going to support her long distance, which is what we do for a lot of patients. So the one thing that I asked Jenny to do is, okay to put together a video for hope for other people that have autoimmune and Lyme disease and stuff like that. You're not your diagnosis. There's hope for that. Jenny, is it okay if I put this on social media?
Yes, of course.
All right. So we wanted to create the video so that other people can get some hope and health. This is Dr. West and Jenny signing out at the West Clinic. You're not your diagnosis. Jenny's beating Lyme, and we're going to help her to stay that way. We'll see you guys on the next video.
A lot of things have been ailing me. I got sick with pneumonia before I came into Dr. West. And my blood, I lost all the nutrients in my blood and things like that. So I couldn't walk, and I couldn't eat solid foods. And the first time I came in, my son had to carry me in. But Dr. West has done wonders with my blood and got it all back up. And I can walk now, and I exercise now, and I can do all sorts of things.
What were you diagnosed with?
Well, in the first place, I was diagnosed with my esophagus was twisted shut, so I couldn't get food down. And they finally figured that out after 2 years of me just eating liquid food, and straightened that out. But by that time, then my blood and everything was a mess, and I had no antibodies or anything in my blood or anything. And my sister told me about Dr. West, and here I am, and got another chance at it. So.
And so did Jason diagnose you with anything?
The blood problems. He went through my blood and figured out that I didn't have enough oxygen going through my blood, and that my cells were way too big, and he helped me with the pain, and he found out that I had gout, and that was causing a lot of my pain, and treated me for that, and I can't remember what else. I've been here for a long time, so he's diagnosed me with quite a few things. I am back. I keep coming in and getting some IVs to keep my blood up and stuff, but I'm back to normal on everything. My blood's up. Activity-wise, I can move around. I don't fall on my face when I get up anymore. And everything's pretty good, except for I have arthritis and my joints hurt. But I'm exercising and taking water aerobics and things like that to build my muscles back up. But all because he helped me build myself back up.
Yeah, and the joint pain.
Oh, I love these people. Dr. J's wonderful. He's not only his treatments, but he makes you feel like you can get better. The emotional. Builds you up emotionally so that you can actually feel like you can do it. And it's like family here, you know.
Take two, lining up the sound. Hey everyone, this is Dr. West and Larry. I'm really excited to share with you his story about getting his health back, because we nudged him a little bit, but he's done a ton of work on his own. And as we were doing the interview today, I'm like, hey, Larry, is it okay to share the story? And he's like, well, you interviewed me once. I'm like, yeah, but we're way better. I got the sound right, got some lighting, some other things. So, Larry, when you first came in, I mean, it's been 10 or 11 years, I think.
About nine years. Mm-hmm.
9 years. And there was some serious stuff when you first came in. Sarcoidosis, lymphoid cancer, chronic diarrhea. What else?
Lymphatic cancer.
Lymphatic cancer.
Yeah, lymphatic cancer. They thought I had at least third stage.
Third stage lymphatic cancer.
Yeah.
And then there's some other things happening in your skin. What was that?
Oh, I had boils. I had for years and years and years. I had chronic diarrhea. My health was just overall failing. When I came in, I had kidney function problems, minor liver function problems. I just did not feel good. My joints all ached in my body. Every morning I'd have to ratchet my hands open because everything was just, it was not good.
And the other thing that happened was you were carrying around some extra stored energy, right?
A little bit.
Okay. And so I was asking about it. He said, I've lost some weight. And I said, how did you do that? And he said, well, I started hiking. I started, doing some things. So obviously that's not something we did in the office. I'm just really proud of you that you did that. And then you said something that was really important. How do you feel now?
Feel great. Best I felt in 25 years.
Okay. So the reason why I wanted to share with the story is you're not your diagnosis, even serious things like that, because if you take control of your health and you line up with someone that really, really helps with a functional medicine perspective, this is the outcomes that you get. So, Larry, let's kind of walk through, like, what are the treatments and stuff that we've done?
Well, we did IV therapy for the Lyme, and immediately within 2 to 3 visits, I came once a week, 2 to 3 visits, I started noticing a difference. I started noticing my lymph nodes started actually going down, and they were growing at a really fast rate before that time.
And then the medical diagnosis for that, what do they tell you to do for the lymph nodes before you came here?
Nothing.
Yeah, so just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, maybe, well, they wanted to put me on prednisone, and I wasn't going to do that, so.
And then the other thing is you were sensitive to the sun.
Yeah, that was later. That was later on. That was 2 or 3 or 4 years later. And we found out that my calcium level in my blood was way off, and vitamin F was way off.
So people don't hear very much about vitamin F or vitamin G, vitamin P, vitamin T, but if you have too little vitamin F, what happens is you get sun hypersensitivity, or you get a reaction to that.
Hives.
You got hives. And so it's too much acidity, it's calcium in the wrong place. It's a really neat trick that my dad taught me. You saw my dad before he passed away. He nudged you in the right way. We saw your blood tests today. They look really good. Some other things that we did the vitamin infusions. We did the medical nutritional therapy, and we nudged your body back in the right way. You started doing your things. It's just an awesome outcome. Chronic disease is treatable, and here you're hearing someone 10 years later doing better than they felt in 25 years, because when you line up the body right, really good things happen. Larry, did I miss anything?
There's a lot of things that I had. A lot of over the years, I had a lot of problems, but I just thought I was just getting older, and I had oh heavens, blood clots. I started having blood clots in 2004. I had a pulmonary embolism that should have killed me, and since that time, between 2004 and when we started getting treated for Lyme, I had blood clots in my calves virtually all the time, and ever since I got treated, no blood clots at all.
So balancing out the body chemistry, and Larry, something that's really interesting. You got the diagnosis of sarcoidosis, lymph node cancer, all these intestinal problems, stomach problems, and we found the root of it was Lyme. We treated the Lyme, and everything cleared up.
Everything cleared up.
And do you remember having a tick exposure? Did you have a tick bite?
No, but I remember in '94 I got bit by a flying ant, and it didn't create the bullseye, but it created on my neck right here, it created a lump that stayed with me for about 4 to 5 months. and that's the only thing I can think. I know it's normally ticks, but I was exposed to ticks my whole life when I was a young boy.
Sure.
And
then you also sent up one of your relatives, Vicky, and I don't want to use her last name because but she's had a really good outcome too. What was her?
Extreme joint pain. She had a lot of the same things that I had. Just you just didn't feel good. Her husband complained to me. We went on a camping trip together, and her husband complained that he couldn't hug her anymore because she hurt. And she did a lot of work with her hands as far as crocheting and needlepoint. She couldn't do any of that. She almost couldn't do anything.
And how's she doing now?
She's doing great.
Yeah. So this is what happens when you get healthy. You want to share it with others, which is exactly why I wanted to interview Larry, because it's so fun to be in the healthcare space when you're making consistent changes. Larry, is it okay if I share this story of hope with others?
Sure.
All right. So Dr. West and Larry, treating chronic disease. You're not your diagnosis. There's always hope. We'll see you guys on the next Medical Miracle video.